joked and whatever else. And I don't really know much about Thoms at all, though, I'm not going to lie. So let's get into the game right now.
Yes, it is going to be a PvZ on Daybreak. In the top right we have from Team Druidz Daax, which is of course the green Zerg, and in the bottom left we have the pink Protoss. From Team Syntox it's Thoms, or maybe some Team Arms, I'm actually not quite sure.
I think he's from Arms, but okay. I'm not going to try. It stands for Altir Rak Metsyak.
Any idea what that's from?
By my pronunciation.
Alright, so yeah, we're going to probably see a very standard Forge Fast Expand, maybe Nexus first on Daybreak, which is still quite standard. I really like what's happened to PvZ as well. I mean, the whole meta has just completely changed from the stale, somewhat boring fest it used to be in Wings of Liberty. And now it's kind of Protoss, which has the ultimate endgame death ball.
Void Rays and Tempests and Sky Toss and whatever else. I mean, Protoss are loving late game PvZ right now, which makes a change, I have to say. And yeah, it's kind of interesting to see just how much, like, a few little changes can just do to the game, man. It's a completely different game, in fact.
Yeah, I do know they still kind of struggle against heavy Mutalisk play in the mid game.
Yeah, and that's obviously become a lot more common, specifically kind of big Muta Tech Switch.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like kind of what Dongriku used to do so much. You know, he just used to have that big heavy roach army. And you know, you'd be dealing with that at your third, at your natural, and then all of a sudden you've got 20 Mutalisks in your main, and you know that's been becoming a lot more common lately. And if you can catch on to it fast enough and get kind of some Phoenix out, you know, it's not so bad. But if you can't, that's when you start to run into issues, as that hatchery does come down there for Daax, and it's going to be Nexus first from Thoms on the other side of the map. With Forge follow.
We're going to have to see a very solid wall in here, of course. A lot of Zergs will actually make 2 links as soon as their spawning pool finishes, but he kind of opts not to, because he gets to scout off that early Nexus with his Overlord and sees, okay, kind of pointless to produce 4 links, just going to make 2 for map control, as much as those really offer you, and just macro up, you know. At this point there's really no objection to him throwing down a 3rd hatchery, even if you really feel so inclined to do so.
Yeah, and I mean, you can definitely still do that, and he's not quite taken any gas yet, so it's very possible he will just do that. And in fact, these lings are already off to kind of clear out the 3rd base, so I think that kind of option is looking like it's quite the possibility. So we now see a drone coming down there as well. Is that just mining, maybe? Yeah, it's just mining.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
there
no,
we go.
it changed his mind on the last possible second.
He's sick of long distance mining. Have them all over drones, get it easy. He doesn't know.
Good, definitely good decision making here from Daax. It seems that Thoms has thrown down double gas in his main, though I'm pretty sure that's very standard timing.
Yeah, just get
this kind of
gate and whatever else going is. He actually misclicks his probes pretty badly there in the gases, and he's actually still doing. Oh my god, wow. That was a little bit of a mess there in his probes.
Oh, I didn't notice, but I do know he still has 4 probes on.
Yeah, he kind of put like 5 in one, and then he moved all 5 to the other. And then he moved another 4 back, and then he finally fixed it, but kind of still has 4 in.
Well, you know, that happens. Nerves.
Yeah, it's not the biggest issue, of course. This is game 1, of course. Nerves. These guys playing in the round of 16, so, you know, it's getting pretty serious for them. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a couple of links just sat at the front here, just looking ready. Just in case anything might change at the front. You know, mostly looking for, of course, any kind of +1 starting on that forge, looking for when the first unit's coming out of that gateway, and so on. So, you know, also maybe see where any of the Chronobus is going. Not able to see too much. What's important, though, is gas starting to be taken at the natural of Thoms.
And the Stargate being thrown down. This was kind of what I was waiting for a good 6 minutes. That a finally the decision in terms of tech was to be made by Daax, or by, of course, his opponents. Additional gas is also being taken in the main. This might hint at Muta play, but we're still not quite sure, of course. It could be anything. Usually if you do see roaches, though, the roach horn gets thrown down quite a bit earlier, along with double evolution chamber. So yeah, single gateway now finishing, along with a couple of gates. Phoenix first being warped in, so you might just use this to establish some sort of control in the mid game, and then go for a timing. But Thoms really seems prepared for this, having the Roachborn and very late circling speed on the way, I might add.
Yeah, Zerglin speed only just starting up. You know, this is kind of just because he got them 3 bases up so quickly. His gases didn't come down for quite some time, and only just now is his gas really starting to roll in. He's going to be able to start up anything else he wants. The lair in the near future, maybe. Probably wants to start adding an evolution chamber soon as well. Maybe just a few roaches in case of some kind of gateway timing, but that's pretty unlikely. He's seen the gases at the natural, so Daax, should know that some kind of tech play is coming from the Protoss play. Otherwise, there's no real need to have all of these gases up so early on.
Alright, so interesting thing that it looks like Thoms wants to throw down a couple more gateways, but he might just stick it to 4 and try to take a third off of the defense, which you can do with these Phoenixes. Meanwhile, a lot of Roach and Link production is actually started for Daax.
Yeah, that's like a lot of Roaches and a lot of Links. That's not just the few you usually make to make sure you're safe. That is a big commitment right now, and well, there's not actually that much for Thoms, and if he gets caught out a little bit in the middle of the map, which might very well happen here as he moves over to third base, he could be in a lot of trouble from this pressure, and Daax looks like he might get into a really good position. These Phoenix still in the main base, have done no scouting information, and Thoms, he's in a lot of trouble. These units are about to come in and make a big move.
Oh, is he gonna go for the third or just straight into the natural, try to do as much damage as he can? Yes, he is gonna go for just try to bust down the forge here, cancel the +1. Wow, these sentries at the third thinking, well, glad we're not a part of that. But these Links and Roaches, they're just busting their way into the natural with no effort. And you know, Thoms kind of messed this up, not leaving at least 1 sentry in the wall, which you need in case this happens. Sentry's not even throwing down a single force field, get killed off instantly. And you know, I don't really see what Thoms is going to be able to do against this. The Roach count in his base is just massive.
He's trying to get a Void Ray out, and I mean, sure, you can get a Void Ray out, but that's not going to change the fact that everything's going to die before then. So the Void Ray is back around the Mothership Core, slowly doing some DPS. The Phoenix are doing a good job at picking off Overlords at Daax's natural. That's one really good thing right now. Daax is quite heavily supply blocked because of that. Now targeting down that Stargate. The third base still lives from Thoms as well. But I mean, just look at the supplies, and he's on 26 probes right now, and there's still units streaming across the map. Look at all these Lings, and Lings just kill probes so quickly compared to how fast Void Rays kill Lings.
For a second I thought Thoms had a chance there if he decided to re-wall with something like 2 gateways in the natural, but now really it's just GG.
It is
a very sort of an anti-timing